Right, I am just getting organized. I'm going live here on TikTok as well as Facebook and YouTube. So I will try to multitask here. If you've got any questions or comments, I'll try to get in on that. I am Nurse Tanya from Awaken Wellness. I am an RN that considers myself divorced from the sick care system. It is a nice blizzardy Montana day, so I decided I've got some time and I need to make a new batch of my hormone balancing topical cream. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm semi-organized. Got all my herbs here. Let's see. Got my jars. We're gonna do an oil infusion. So I'm going to put the herbs in the jars. I will kind of talk you through what herbs I'm going to use. And then today, I've got water warming on the stove. I'm going to warm bath these oils for about 6 hours. And then they're going to sit and kind of brew, you'd say, more or continue to marinate, so to speak, for 10 to 14 days. In town at my store, I've got a really bright south window, so I might go ahead and leave them in that bright sun and really infuse those oils. Let's see. For a base, I'm going to use almond oil. I may, as the oil cools before I bottle it, I may add a little castor oil to it. We'll just see. So I've got my herbal book out and handy so I could read off to you some of these choices that I've got. So I'm definitely going to do wild yam. I do have this available at my store. So I've got the DIY supplies if this is something that you would like to do on your own. The wild yam, I'm just going to go to my book here and read off to you the benefits. So you probably have heard of um, endocrine disruptors like the phthalates and the paraffins, the toxins, and all that that are in our commercial products and how they disrupt our hormones. So when we're blending this herbal remedy, in a sense, we're disrupting our hormones, but in a positive way. We're trying to disrupt for our benefit, not the negative, like those toxic products. Let's see. Looking for wild yam. Here we go. Page 9. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Let's try a different page. 1549. Let's try 49. No. So just kind of on the fly here. I did not really prepare any sort of presentation. I just am on the fly. So looking up wild yam here in this nice herbal book, just so I can give you a nice educated definition of why we choose the wild yam. Let's see. and it's just kind of not on the page that it told me it should be on. So I hope be patient with me and let me find this. Wild yam is said to mimic your progesterone. It's supposed to help progesterone, so it is adaptogenic. So whether you need more or need less, and it works in um, with your estrogens. It helps adapt your estrogens. So 186. I'm just not finding really what I want in this book for a nice herbal definition of that wild yam. This is the book I'm looking in, putting myself on the spot here. I should have looked that up a little bit further before I just decided to be spontaneous and do a live video. Yeah, so my book is not giving me a great scientific definition of wild yam. That is how rude, right? Right. Well, I'm going to move on to the next ingredient. The next ingredient I'm going to add is chase tree berry. Okay. So let's see if my book gives us anything nice to say about chase tree berry. Chase tree berry is really very hormone balancing again, like the wild yam is going to balance that estrogen, progesterone, and is very adaptogenic. The chase tree berry, let's see if my book will be nicer to me and tell us a little bit more about chase tree berry. It does. It's got a nice picture of chase tree berry. Why not wild yam? I might have to go back and see. So here is the nice big page about the chase tree berry in my book here. Chase tree berry, let me read it off to you, is well known in ancient times. Hormonal properties. The berries are thought to induce subtle hormonal effects within the brain, leading to increased levels of neurotransmitter dopamine and melatonin. These changes are thought to promote better hormonal regulation of the menstrual cycle, probably through raised progesterone levels. So, like the wild yam, it helps with that. In some people, raised melatonin levels help aid in sleep quality. Um, Gynecological problems, clinical research by large supports the use of chaste tree berry in many female hormone problems, including PMS, irregular menstruation, breast tenderness, infertility. As a sleep aid, research has found that chaste tree berry increases melatonin levels. Chaste tree berry has been thought to help increase sleep quality. Some studies indicate that chaste tree berry might help people with insomnia due to unhealthy melatonin levels, such as night shift workers. So, isn't that awesome? More benefits, menstruation problems, irregular periods, infertility, difficulty breastfeeding, and acne. So, we are going to infuse that chase tree berry along with the wild yam into our oils. If you just happen to pop in, it is a blistery Sunday in Montana, so I decided to do a little catch up. Working in the house, I am going to be blending a topical hormone balancing oil. My base is going to be almond oil. Almond oil. I'm trying to go multi back and forth here. I am live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on TikTok. So I'm you can sure comment. I don't know that I'm fancy enough. I don't have any moderators with me, so I don't know if I'm fancy enough to keep up with your comments, but let me know you're here, especially on TikTok or on Facebook. Go ahead and give me some likes, some shares. That would be awesome. We're just going to go at a really boring pace here as I work through this. I'm also going to add cramp bark. So, cramp bark, let's see. I do have a nice page in my book about cramp bark right here, right here. This is the book I'm using. That's the book, a nice little guide to DIY herbal stuff, right? Um, Again, if you're just jumped on, I am Tanya Candy. I am a registered nurse that is divorced from the sick care system. So I help people to solve their common health problems in a more natural and holistic way. Cramp bark. Cramp bark. Let's see. The research says that cramp bark is used as a muscle relaxant and it helps with arthritis. I am going to add a little cramp bark to my hormone blend. And this hormone blend, generally, you would use it topically 1 to 2 times a day. And then if you are cycling, you would hold it during your cycle. So that PMS, that cramping, it should definitely help. Maybe what I should do, oh, I really wasn't planning on doing multiple blends. Oh, well, I take that back. I was going to do a more postmenopausal blend as well as a just kind of general, but the cramp bark, the muscle relaxer, that is going to be probably the last ingredient, so I'm not going to use as much of that, but that maybe I should do. Probably not today, I wasn't prepared to do that, but in the future I should maybe do just a cramp bark blend for the during your cycle when you're really crampy. So there's always more that we can do. There's so many fun things that we can do. So cramp bark. Let's see. That is not especially for the hormone part. That's just for the aches and pains that come with it. Okay. So cramp bark, we talked about chase tree. Passion flower, that is the one I'm gonna do in my more post-menopausal. Let's see. Nope, I do not want any. Oh, I lied. Not. That's not what I was thinking. It's the red clover that is for the more post-menopausal. And I've got oregano sitting out just because I have time. I think I'm gonna do some oregano in the olive oil and just have that. I have a really nice sunny south window. All right, let's see. Trying to look at too many screens and I'm losing my track of thought. Let's look up passion flower. Passion flower. All right, passion flower. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the picture of that passion flower. Get my finger out of the way. Don't you just love these flowers? That's the passion flower. All right, so we're gonna add the passion flower to our topical hormone balancing blend. Passion flower, the research says it has tranquilizing properties. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Can aid with insomnia, gentle sedative, pain relief. So that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to add to our hormone balancing oil. What else? I know I've got passion flower in a tincture, and it is so flowery. Like it just is super hard for me to take in a tincture. So this topical is a great option because that I do not enjoy the taste of passion flower. It tastes like funeral flowers. So again, we are making a herbal topical hormone balancing concoction. And I was looking when I first started, I guess I was maybe feeling a little anxious and not finding, there's got to be a page in this book for wild yam. I'm going to look again. Like, I must have overlooked it. $49, 156. Yeah, when I go, it says page 186, and when I go there, it's just not there. It doesn't have a beautiful page like those other ones. Maybe, maybe, yeah. Page 91. Ah, there it is. So I think it was missing in the back of the book. I had to find it somewhere else. So here's the wild yam. The wild yam is going to be the basis, is going to be the main ingredient in our topical balancing oil. Wild yam, synthesis of hormones. Let's see. Oh, wow. So I did not realize that. It actually helps with your stress hormones, like your cortisone. Oh, cool. Yeah, a lot of your like oral, if you take a progesterone drop, most of that goes back to wild yam. So they are breaking that down. Most of your bioidentical hormones, that they're made in a lab, but they are bioidentically matching the wild yam. Traditional uses um, relieve pain for gynecological problems, painful periods, ovarian pain. Wild yam has a estrogen modulating activity and is used to treat menopausal symptoms. Also helps with arthritis and rheumatism, muscle spasms and pain, even digestive problems. And I do find that that is very interesting because a lot of women suffer from constipation throughout the month. And then it's during that part of their cycle when their progesterone is higher that they finally get some relief and have a decent bowel evacuation. Also helps with gallbladder inflammation and irritable bowel. So that's awesome. Today, like I said, we're gonna make a oil tincture, but I could take any of these herbs and just boil them and drink them as a tea as well. But today, my mode is going to be through that oil. I'm going to warm bath the herbs in almond oil today. Almond oil, almond oil for about 6 hours in just a gentle, warm water bath. And then I'm going to let them sit in a sunny place. Actually, I don't want them to get too hot. I have this really nice south window at my store in town, and that might be too hot, but that is definitely going to utilize that window this summer to make some herbal teas and then just refrigerate them and drink them cold, a kind of mocktail throughout the day. So I'm looking forward to summer to spring and to doing some of those things. So let's get these put together. If you're new here, hey, I am Tanya Candy. I'm an RN. I consider myself divorced from the sick care system, and I help. Oh, what's I have a neat niche pitch. It's I help open-minded, enthusiastic professionals to solve their common health problems in a more natural and holistic way. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would love to hear from you. I've got a link in bio that you can hit. Let's see, my water over here is boiling. I don't really need it boiling, so I'm going to bring it down a notch. I am going to get out a measuring cup. So I think I'm going to do 2 different blends for the herbal. I've got a presentation coming up where I need the finished product. So this will work out just about perfect. That is going to be around Mother's Day. I am going to do, see, when you're blending these, it's so fun because you can like do whatever you want. But I know that I want the wild yam. I hope I brought 2 of these home. I did not. What was I thinking? I only brought 1 of these home. So I guess I might be repeating this process tomorrow. Oh, I lied. Here it is. I thought I had 2. You know how that is. So this package has got 4 ounces. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the whole one of the wild yam, 1 to each of these blends. The wild yam that I have at my store comes from a company called Herb to Body, and it retails for $17. So it's $17 for this package of wild yam. So we're going to do that, 1 each. And then they're both going to get the chase tree berry, if you remember what chase tree berry was for. And that's 4 ounces. I'm not going to do as much of that. I'm just going to do 1/4 of a cup of the chase tree berry in each one. But there's that, the chase tree berry. And then, did I talk about passion flower? Let's see. Chase tree berry, passion flower. Yes, we did talk about passion flower for sure because I remember it was really flowery tasting. The tincture, oh, in my personal opinion, it tastes terrible and it's super hard to get that flowery taste out of your mouth. The chase tree berry was nice and balancing, adaptogenic as well. Great for sleep and insomnia. The next one, this red clover bark, is better, kind of more for our hot flash crowd. So let's look that up. 277. Red clover. Medicinal actions. Red clover is used to treat skin conditions. Oh, interesting. Red clover also relieves menopausal symptoms. Research, I'm going to make just a topical oil blend too, and that would be kind of interesting to make one with that red clover for that inflamed skin. Let's see, what else? Research says that red clover has been shown to be therapeutic for menopause, helps reduce the impact of failing estrogen levels. Also helps with heart circulation. Um, also very anti-cancer when it comes to breast cancer. So the red clover, I'm going to put only in one, and that is going to be more our menopausal uh, gal for the gals in that age group. Right, I love that. And we're probably, let's see. I think I'm just going to do a quarter cup. If I do too much, my jar is not that big. And if I get the jars too full, then I have to revamp and find a bigger jar. So we'll set that one to this side so I know that I did that one. And now we got to remember that this jar on this side is that jar. Passion flower. Passion flower, I think they could both use some passion flower. And that too, we'll just do a quarter cup. Yeah, sorry, you can't really see my jars, can you? So this is what they're looking like so far. They're getting kind of full. I have to make sure that there's enough room for the oil. Hopefully I won't have to revamp and get different jars. Put that this direction, so I remember I put it in there. And the cramp bark, I think, would be beneficial to both age groups as well. So we're gonna put the cramp bark in both of them. We'll just do a quarter cup of that as well. I haven't noticed much smell really in any of those. They're not too wild. That one smells nice. Has kind of a sweet flavor, sweet smell to it. All right, so that is that. Cramp bark. Okay. This is what my jars are looking like. This one's pretty full, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. That one, I like that better. It's not quite as full. I am gonna add the oil to it. I'm gonna use almond oil. In the end, when I go to rebottle it and strain it, I might add a little castor oil, but for right now, I'm just gonna do almond oil. I have to keep making sure that I don't mix them up. So got the almond oil, and I'm just gonna pour each one in, and then I'll probably go in and kind of stir them a little bit so I get a good saturation, and then add some more oil. Saturate that out. Hey, is anybody here that has any questions while I'm doing this? I can see the screen. Hey, Jesse says hello. Hello, down in South Dakota. What's your weather like? Anybody on TikTok talking to me? I could use some likes and some shares and some follows on TikTok. Come on, if you're there, let me know you're there. Like, share, follow. Don't just sit there. Don't just sit there. Let's see. I will go ahead and kind of give my spiel again if you just popped on, or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you might be on the replay. So let me know you're here, replay, like, share, follow. My name is Tanya Candy. I am an RN who considers herself divorced from the sick care system. I help ambitious, open-minded professionals take control of their health. We work together, we use testing, and we solve their common health problems in a more natural and holistic way. All right, so I'm going to add some more oil. Let's see, who is all new here and needs a recap? If you're watching replay on Facebook or YouTube, you're probably tired of my recapping. But if you just popped in on TikTok, you need a recap. I am making a topical herbal balancing oil. I have to get a marker. I need to mark this one with the red clover. Nope, that didn't work. Need to mark this one with the red clover in it for our menopausal gals before I end up losing track of them and I don't remember which one was which happens. Let's see. Mark it on this lid. So I remember. All right, so I've got them pretty well, good and saturated. So the goal here is, in the end, I will strain this oil and put it into a bottle, like in a tincture bottle, usually a 2-ounce bottle. And then I have it for resale at my store or use it. If you are wanting to make these homemade DIY tinctures, they are super simple. You just need a little patience and a little time. I'm just really getting that saturated good. I've got a warm water bath ready on the stove. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there for about 6 hours. And it's not boiling water, it's just warm water, especially that is just going to help really open up these herbs and start them infusing into the oil. Then I'm wanting them to kind of naturally infuse a little bit longer, kind of cool a little bit longer. And I will leave them on the counter for 10 days to 2 weeks, somewhere around in there. And then you just strain, use a cheesecloth or however you want to strain that particles out, and you'll have, the result is going to be your infused oil. I don't have any of that to show you at this point. In May here locally, if you live anywhere close to me, I'm in Sydney, Montana. Mother's Day weekend, it's I want to say it's a Friday, May 10th. We are going to be having a really neat local women's event. And at that event, I will get more organized than I was here today. This is kind of my trial and error. I'm going to be doing a presentation and a DIY class on how to make this balancing oil. And then the gals from the class will get a finished oil, the ones that I'm making today, they will be part of their participation. They will get that oil to take home. I figured that'd be the way to do it, since if you were here, if you watched how we did this today, it has to sit. So if you take one of those classes, you want something to go home with you at the end of the class. So if you're local and you're watching, make sure that you sign up for that event. The ticket price is going to be $35. You'll sit through my little presentation. I promise it'll be better by then. I will be more organized, and then you're going to get a tincture to take home. So I thought today, while I have this mess out, I'm going to go ahead and infuse some oregano. I have never done that before. I've just bought oregano tincture. So in a store at Awaken Wellness, I carry so the raw herbs. So I've got the big bag of oregano on the counter. I'm gonna go ahead and infuse that, and I'm gonna do it the same. I'm gonna put it in the water bath with my other two bottles. I say, if you got the mess made, you might as well do a few things, right? So that is what I'm doing. Oh, Jessie's still on. She says wind and snow. Yeah, we don't. It's not terrible windy here, but it's pretty. It's kind of blustery and kind of pretty. But our pastures were so dry, so we're just trying not to complain. Of course, we're calving. I bet you're calving too. Um, so again, if you just popped on to TikTok, my name is Tanya. I'm an RN. We farm and ranch. We're here in Montana. I have gone to a more holistic approach, and I consider myself divorced from the healthcare system, sick care system. So I'm trying not to make a huge mess and get this oregano into this jar. Oh yeah, it really does smell good, doesn't it? I should use more oregano in my cooking. Really, we should all be using more beneficial herbs in our cooking. Your oregano, your turmeric. I have really gotten so a lot of stuff that I make, I throw turmeric in it, and instead of pepper, I have some food allergies, and pepper is not my friend. So turmeric, then it just makes everything that funny yellow color. Oregano. I am going to use, we shop at Thrive Market a lot, especially being here in rural Montana. Thrive Market is a lifesaver. Let's see, this has not been opened. Let's see if I can gracefully open it. Maybe, maybe not. So I absolutely do not consider myself an herbalist. I am self-taught. This is this book that I was reading out of earlier for my blends, my herbal blends. I do have um, a lot of books, a lot of classes. I am not a certified herbalist by any means. Um, I'm a nurse who has gotten further education in functional medicine and um, do things with a more holistic approach, with eating, with supplements. I think this coming into the Passover season, I'm going to do a 28-day fast. Not not from food, but I think I'm going to go hardcore carnivore for 28 days, and then I'm going to fast from social media scrolling. Because of my business accounts, I can't completely just say I'm going to go off of social media, but I am going to fast from the evening scrolling. I think in the evening we might fast from streaming services like your Netflix and whatever we sit and watch, at the end of the day. Maybe find some biblical classes, something to take instead. So that's in a 28-day goal. I observe Passover, so that is off this year. It doesn't fall on the same cycle as Easter does this year. So that this fast would start. Sorry. I really want to make sure I don't spill this all over my book. So this fast would start Tuesday. And I haven't decided. I try not to eat much dairy anyway, but if I'm just doing carnivore, like dairy goes pretty well with that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I haven't totally set out the plan yet. I've got a couple more days to figure it out. Might just do the 1 meal a day too. So fasting, but not fully fasting. Look at like this is all that I didn't. This bottle of oil is pretty much going to be empty by the time I get that in there. I am, volume. It's always surprising. This container is tall and narrow, so I didn't even look at the ounces. 25, 1 pint. So, yes, that's about right. There's that. I managed to do that without spilling all over my book, so that was pretty good. And I'm just gonna make sure that I get that all the way to the bottom, that oil all the way to the bottom. And I'm gonna put it in my water bath. Right. So that is kind of the end of that. I see there's a couple more people that jumped on some of the social media sites. So that is awesome. I will leave these videos up on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you just hopped on to TikTok and you're wondering what I'm up to, I'm about to close down this video, but you can go and find me on YouTube. I do believe in my link in bio, there is a YouTube link that will quickly get you there. This is just an oregano infusion with olive oil. So this one is going to be edible because of the olive oil. I'm going to stick it in my water bath over here. And then just to wrap this up, so I was making homemade DIY hormone balancing topical wild yam. I am not going to go the extra measure and make it into a cream. Like, if you're on social media, the wild yam creams are all everywhere. I haven't tried that yet. I've got a gallon of organic beef tallow. So if I was going to take my oil infusion and make it into a cream, that's probably what I would do. And if I've got time after it's infused for those 2 weeks, maybe I'll try it. Who knows? But right now, at this point, I don't plan on trying it. What I did today, I did while you've been with me on that live. So it's pretty time efficient. It's a minimal amount of mess. It's not terrible at all. So it's something that any of us can do at home if you're in that crunchy crowd or you just, like the topical wild yam hormone balancing is an amazing little solution that men can use, that women can use at pretty much any age. The wild yam, it's adaptogenic, so it helps your estrogens no matter if you're on the high side or the low side. It just helps your body kind of self-regulate. It's not an overnight process, like absolutely not. You need to be consistent with it before you're seeing some results. I have had clients who just use a little bit and they will feel hormone changes in their body. So it all kind of depends on you and how sensitive that you are. So here again is what I used for ingredients. I did 2 containers, 2 jars. Let's see. They're kind of wet now, but I'll grab one. So this is my jar with the herbs. It's already kind of separating. I just pulled it out of the bath. So I just did 2. 1 jar for your cycling and 1 jar for your non-cycling females. If you are a man and you want to use that, you could try either one. Like if you are having some hormone temper fluctuations or sweats, then I would say use the one with the red clover in it. If you are just thinking that you've got too much estrogen, then I just use the cycling one. Let's see. Okay, so each jar, I did 2 jars. Each jar has got a package, a 4-ounce package of wild yam. I do sell all these at my store. If you are wanting to make your own, I keep them in stock. I will mail them. I'm not opposed to that, but I just use the the normal post office, and it's not the best system. So anyway, one package in each. So that is the main ingredient. It's got the most wild yam in it. Then I did cheese tree berry, and that is also great for your hormones. It's good for sleep and melatonin as well. And I did a half a cup of that in each jar. So both jars got that. And then we did passion flower, was also great for sleep issues, hormone regulation, and I did a half a cup in each jar of the passion flower. And then we did cramp bark, and cramp bark is just kind of a little bit of a muscle relaxer. And I did a half a cup of cramp bark in each jar. And then the last is the red clover, and the red clover is just in the postmenopausal jar. So it is helps with hot flashes and things like that. So it's only in the one jar, and then I have to keep track of which jar that was. Hopefully my markings are still on there. Yeah, it is. I can see it. I just use a dry erase marker, so there's that. When these are done, I can give you prices of these too, I guess. So the red clover, this bag, it is a 4-ounce bag, and it's $16. The cramp bark, this I have got coming in from a different company. I don't remember how much this one was. I bought this somewhere else, but I do have it coming in now. Should be arriving this week. The Chase Tree Berry is $8 for a 4-ounce bag, and the passion flower is 4-ounce bag for $13.50. The wild yam, I don't remember if I said that already, is $17. So that one is the most expensive, but it is also the most important ingredient. I then also infused some oregano oil in olive oil, and that is, you can use that for so many things. If you're getting a little viral something or another, if you've got a little bacterial something or another, when we use that in olive oil, it is edible, so you can take that by mouth and you can put it on your skin. Your skin likes olive oil as well. My hormone infusions, I used almond oil. And then I haven't decided yet, know where my lid is to that. I may, once those infusions are done, so today they're going to warm bath for 6 hours, not boiling water, just a warm water bath for 6 hours. And then I'm just going to let them naturally cool in a, probably inside my cupboard. I was earlier when I was talking in this video, I was kind of thinking maybe I would do some additional sun with them, but I don't think I will. I'm just gonna let them cool in on the cupboard and let them settle at room temperature for 10 to 14 days, depending on what time allows. After they're done, what I'm going to do then is strain them. So probably use cheesecloth or something like that, and I'm going to strain off the oil. I'll probably double strain it at least twice to make sure that the particles aren't in there. And then that, for me, is going to be the finished product. It's going to be a topical oil that you would want to put on a smooth, porous skin surface. So like your neck, your wrists, the inside of your thighs, your belly, and you can alternate sites if you'd like. I generally just do mine right here because that's easiest. Just blend it. You could do it on your face and your neck. I mean, it's almond oil that you could put it anywhere. And almond oil, technically, it's not that it's not edible, I guess. I may, if I have time, after I've strained it, I may mess around with blending it in tallow. And if I did that, then at room temperature, it would be a cream. It would be a rub-on topical cream instead of the oil. But I tend to do things the quicker way. I have not yet tried to emulsify or blend things to make it a cream, because to me the oil works just as well, and it's less products for me to buy, less time for me to spend, and it's done. But if I decide to mess around with that, I think I would just do it in tallow. I don't think I would do the beeswax or whatever. I think I would just do it in tallow. And if I did in tallow, it might be soupy. I don't know for sure. I guess that's where you'd find out. I might end up having to add something else to it um, to get it there. And the tallow, of course, is like coconut oil or a oil. It will um, if it gets warm, it will liquefy, which wouldn't be a big deal. Fatworks is the tallow that I carry at my store, and I have a gallon of it. So if I choose to mess around with that any further, that is what I would try. And then I just take that poured off oil and I put it in a little tincture bottle and just use a dropper. So generally, the dose would be a half a dropper to a dropper full. With the wild yam cream, most people will use that every day except for when they're cycling. They hold it in the days that they're cycling. You don't have to. It really depends on what feels right to you. So if you just feel better using it, it's not going to hurt anything. Either way, especially with the cramp bark, if you've got painful periods. But hopefully, after routinely using it twice a day, after maybe 4 to 6 months, your cramps and your cycle and those things would just be different. You just wouldn't be in suffer mode. You'd come to a more normal type cycle, right? Um, Anything else? Does anybody have any questions before I go ahead and shut this off? I don't see. I'll quick scroll. Don't see any questions, but yeah. So again, we were here making some hormone balancing. Oh, Hurley Girl's there. I don't know if she's still there or not, but thanks for stopping in. And I see Javier stopped in. Thanks for stopping in. Robin, thanks for stopping in. Sorry, I'm not a very good going back and forth and being present with my audience. Again, this is the book I used. I am just a DIY person, just like you. I'm trained as an RN, not necessarily as an herbalist, but there's a lot of education out there. We can get ourselves educated and we can practice a new perspective. So thank you for tuning in. If you are catching me on replay, please comment replay. If you are on TikTok, I will have this video posted. You can go to my link in bio and go to YouTube. I will keep it up on YouTube, or find me on Facebook, Awaken Wellness LLC. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.